Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to qualifying at the final round of Pro Motocross National Championship. We're here at Ironman in the 450 class, and we are about to head out for qualifying session number 2. Today was one of the most important days for me. Talent in this 450 field has really taken a huge step up this year due to the SMX playoffs, bringing a bunch of guys out who normally don't do outdoors. That's made it really tough to make it into these motos this summer, and as a result, I've had a bit less success than normal. And every year I always think to myself, like, man, is this going to be the last year that I race? I'm assuming the class is only going to get gnarlier as more and more people realize that there's a lot of money to be made at these SMX rounds. So was sort of thinking to myself that if today didn't go really well, I would be pretty content to just kind of hang it up, which is not what I want to do by any means. I want to go out there and perform and do really well, but I felt like I gave it my best effort at some of the rounds this year, and it just didn't go my way. So it was definitely very important for me to get a good result at Ironman today, and I won't spoil it. I'll just let you guys see how qualifying panned out. Things were a little extra tough heading into this weekend. You guys may have noticed I wasn't at the last 2 rounds of outdoors, and that's because in the second moto at Redbud, I messed up my knee again pretty good. Gave it like 2 or 3 weeks to just try and let it rest up and get back on the grind, but it just wasn't getting better. So eventually I saw my orthopedic surgeon, got an injection in my knee, which really helped like almost immediately. Got to ride one time during the break after Washougal, and then literally the next day came down with COVID-19, which took me out for literally 2.5 or another 3 weeks. Like, I had 104 fever, daily migraines, like some of the worst pain I've ever been in, honestly. So unfortunately had to skip Dilla and Buds. Finally rode locally the weekend of Buds Creek, which was just last weekend, and then, you know, we're sending it here. So 2 days of riding in the last month and a half. I knew I was a little bit rusty, a little out of practice. My fitness was not where it needed to be, and I'm definitely still feeling some of those symptoms of the sickness. It just lingers for so long, and I just feel depleted of energy. So on top of it needing to be a good day, I knew it was going to be extra tough for those reasons, but hey, we're still out here sending. Before we jump into the lap number 1, very excited to announce that this qualifying video is brought to you by the boys over at the Moto Academy. AJ Catanzaro, one of the absolute best moto coaches in the industry. Got classes every weekend. I'm actually going to be joining him for a couple of classes coming up here soon. I'll get you guys the dates and the locations whenever we figure that out. But biggest thing, even if you can't make it to a class, they have the new Moto Academy 2.0 app that you can sign up for. There's 3 different tiers that you can subscribe to. The first one's the community tier. That allows you to upload your riding footage and have it be reviewed by expert coaches and community members. You can connect with other riders in your area. It also gives you access to an exclusive Moto Academy marketplace, as well as weekly interactive live streams with special guests such as myself. Next up, the courses tier gives you access to over 1,000 hours of in-depth training content covering everything from your first time on a bike to supercross specific training. New programs are being added all the time, and it's not just for moto. They also have enduro and off-road racing courses as well. And then finally, the mastermind tier, and this allows you to take full advantage of the growth mindset with like-minded members conquering moto, business, health, and lifestyle. You get access to exclusive live streams specifically reaching out and connecting with the members in the mastermind group. That also includes a monthly challenges and book club to help members reach their full potential on and off the track. If any of that sounds interesting to you guys, there's a link down in the description to get started, and you can also use the code JWalk to get 10% off all the classes and the Moto Academy apparel. So really cool. Big shout out to the Moto Academy. You guys should go check it out, and who knows, maybe you'll have me as a coach one of these weekends very soon. So do me a favor, go show those guys some love, and without further ado, let's get lap number 1 started here at Ironman.
For
really felt good that lap. I had maybe one mistake on my own in that wood section, but I'm going to be honest, it's so deep and gnarly and rutted in the woods and just kind of hard to see that like a mistake's pretty unavoidable really. And the one that I did make didn't really cost me a whole lot of time. So I was feeling really good about that lap, flowing pretty good, big whip over the big tabletop. I was like, all right, here we go. This is my time. And then, yeah, unfortunately just caught a pack of 6 dudes in those last 2 or 3 corners. I'm sure on camera it doesn't look like a whole lot of time, but even if that's half a second or 1 second, that could be 15 spots. And that's just a product of being in the B group. Nothing I could really do since I missed the last couple of rounds. They just put me in the B group instead of the A. I pretty much assumed that was going to be the case. And that's just part of the game. Everyone deals with it, so can't complain, but it is a little bit of a bummer. I looked over at my dad and he gave me the thumbs up, so I knew I was maybe like P1 or P2 in this group. But of course, I'm battling against the guys in the A group, so it doesn't really matter if I'm first in this group if I'm 40th in the A group. So still work to be done. Tried to find some new lines on this sight lap and then, yeah, get out there and send it for lap number 2. See if we can't improve that a little bit. Well, you can probably tell by the revving there, but at this point I'm a little bit frustrated. Just 2 pretty unlucky laps that otherwise would have been pretty good. I feel like I executed everything I needed to execute, and just by, happenstance, the very end of those laps was definitely a little unfortunate. So on a normal weekend, I'm not stressing too much because I know I have a 3rd lap here to try and set another time in. The reason I was even a little bit more frustrated this time is because, as I said, the sickness definitely was still taking its toll on my body. Like, I was getting tired halfway through these single sprint laps, and each one I did, I would get tired just a little bit earlier and a little bit earlier, and just the one cool down lap wasn't quite enough time to fully get my energy back and let the arm pump get out of my system. Again, my dad gave me the thumbs up, like things were going well, but I just didn't want to chance it because typically if I get a perfect lap in, I'm right on the bubble this year. And so to have 2 laps where things didn't go to plan, I figured even though I was in a good spot in the B group, I was probably not so great in the A group. And I really wanted this 3rd lap to go perfectly. So I was really just taking this cool down lap extra slow just to give myself every ounce of energy that I could muster and try and put it into this 3rd lap. So this cool down lap here is always the most stressful time of the day because I'm thinking to myself, all right, it is do or die. It's like you're in line for a roller coaster. But yeah, time to do this thing. Lap number 3, let's get it. Bummer there. I was really sending it. You guys can probably tell. If you look at the timesheets, I actually went red in Sector 1, which means it was the fastest sector of the session out of everyone. I knew how important this lap was, and I just wanted to make it in and not go to an LCQ, and I was just pushing really, really hard. Was getting a little bit out of shape coming into some of those corners and stuff, but I was just hanging on and sending it. The clutch just got the tiniest little bit spongy, and even though I had it pulled in, yeah, the engine just quit going over that little braking bump. So my fault, probably a little too hard on the rear brake or something. Kind of devastating because we were oh so close. I ended up qualifying 38th. They take 36, had to go to the LCQ. I did end up getting second in the LCQ and making it to the motos, so the day was still really good. It just really would have been nice to not have to go to the LCQ. But despite that, even with those mistakes, I'm really, really stoked with how close that I was. I think I was less than a second out from 36th. And dude, as I'm saying, 36th is Colt Nichols on a basically factory Suzuki. Like, that's just the level of the field this year. I mean, what? I think there's 3 guys who didn't have a 2-digit number that made it straight in out of qualifying. We got Dino back in 26. I mean, Nichols and Wilson have won Supercross championships on a 250. Like, it is no joke. I've never seen it like this. So just to be that close, even with the mistakes, and then to make it in through the LCQ, you know, I call that a big win on the day for me. So a little bit of a tough qualifying session, but overall the day turned out really good, and yeah, pretty happy with it. So thank you guys very much for tuning in to another qualifying video. Thank you to AJ Catanzaro and the boys over at the Moto Academy for sponsoring this video. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. So thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next one. Later, guys.